Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I wanted to talk to you about three things primarily tonight. The first one is Hassan Nasrallah's speech, and the second thing is the assassination attempt of Itamar Ben-Gvir, the Israeli Minister of National Security. And the third thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the latest statements from the Israeli Major General Giora Island, who had an interview in the Israeli newspaper Ma'ariv. His thoughts about the war and his projections about the summer and the events up in the northern part of Israel. I'm going to start off with Hassan Nasrallah. So in his speech, Hassan Nasrallah, he said that the Iranian response to Israel's bombing of its consulate building in Damascus is inevitably coming. He also considered this attack to be a pivotal incident with a before and after situation, and it will have a very detrimental effect after the 7th of October and all that's been happening so far. He also added that to where are we going, when, how, and the scale of the response, these are matters we are not interested in asking about or interfering with. He added that the Iranians are thinking and studying all possibilities carefully before responding. He also added that the attack led to the killing of senior leaders in the Iranian Revolutionary Guards Corps who have historical value to us, especially Major General Zahedi, due to their great merit over the resistance in Lebanon for many years, noting that a ceremony honoring these leaders will be held next Monday. He also added that this foolishness committed by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in the consulate in Damascus will open the door to great relief, resolving this battle and ending it. This was the most serious statement that he made so far. He stressed that the region has entered a new phase after the strike, adding that everyone must prepare themselves, arrange their affairs, and be careful about how things might go. We must be prepared for every possibility. Hassan Nasrallah also stressed that the resistance in Lebanon does not fear war and is fully prepared morally and psychologically for any war in which the enemy will regret if it launches it on Lebanon, pointing out that Hezbollah has not yet used basic weapons and has not withdrawn its basic forces, adding that, however, we achieved all these achievements in northern Israel despite them not using all of their arsenal or just a very small amount of it. A Hezbollah member and 7 Revolutionary Guard members, including 2 senior officers, were killed in the airstrike in Syria. Iran obviously accused Israel of launching the strike, and they vowed to respond, and also they criticized the US and said that the US is responsible, or at least some of the Iranian leadership. That's the first thing that I want to talk to you about. The second thing that I want to talk to you about is an assassination attempt of Itamar Ben-Gvir, the Minister of National Security in Israel. So we had a report in the Israel newspaper Ma'ariv again that this morning the state's attorney office submitted indictments to the district court in Beersheba against 6 Israelis and 4 residents of the West Bank. And when they say 6 Israelis, 6 Palestinian residents of Israel, primarily from Rahat, which is in the Naqab desert, the Negev desert in Hebrew. They were planning to carry out multiple attacks. One of these attacks was against Itamar Ben-Gvir. They added some more details about their operation, about their names, about who obviously made this plan from the West Bank. And they also said that the charges that were brought against them are surrounding conspiring to aid the enemy in the war, operation with weapons for terrorist purposes, destruction of vision, attempt to operate or deal in weapons for terrorist purposes, preparation for committing a murder, which is an act of terrorism, again, preparation for committing murder, which is an act of terrorism, attempt to commit an act on property for terrorist purposes, unlawful stay and weapons offenses. The case was investigated by the General Security Service and the Negev Region District Attorney's Office in the Southern District of the Israeli Police. This is not the first assassination attempt or plan against Itamar Ben-Gvir. Previously, we had successful assassinations in Israel. One of them was for Rechavam Ze'evi, that was carried out by the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine, the PFLP. But clearly, many people want him gone, especially seeing as he's one of the most racist, radical figures who promotes the mass murder and ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people. That's the second thing that I want to talk to you about. The third and final thing that I wanted to talk to you about is Major General Giora Island. He is the former head of the Operations Division and head of the National Security Council. He spoke with Ma'arif about the progress of the fighting and the situation in Lebanon. He was asked, why are we still not operating in the center camps now, in reference to central Gaza? He added, there is no reason, certainly not political nor strategic. It's something that is between the fact that there are too few forces in Gaza and that's making it difficult for them, and the other part is busy with Khan Yunis. They only have 5 brigades because there's increasing criticism about how Israel is unable to defeat the Hamas yet, despite the fact that we've been 6 months into this war, half a year. They also asked him about the north. So he has criticism about Gaza. He was saying that we can potentially get to 80% destruction of Hamas or Hamas's forces, but we won't reach 100%, and that would be enough. And to him, it's impossible basically to demolish the Hamas, as Benjamin Netanyahu wants, and many in the Israeli leadership are saying. Then they were asking him about the north, Hezbollah particularly. He said, when we talk about the north, Israel should tell itself and others the following. He said we should put this as a statement. On September the 1st, 2024, all citizens who left their homes in the north will be able to return to their homes with security and a sense of security. We are not ready and do not want to wait any longer. If we give 2 months to reach a reasonable agreement with the removal of Hezbollah, which from our point of view would be reasonable, and if not, then the schedule will oblige us to act during the summer. To him, if there is no deal between Israel and Hezbollah in the following 2 months, that includes, again, unrealistic demands from Hezbollah, going up north to the Litani River, approximately 40 kilometers from the borders with Israel, something that's not going to happen. They agreed to do that previously before they stopped the war, but again, that wasn't implemented, and Israel continued its aggressions on Lebanon. But to him, if that doesn't happen, they're going to have to go on a full-scale war with Hezbollah in the summer. And according to this idea of his, it will be done in less than 2 months. How are you expecting it to be done in 2 months? But the thing that we wanted to highlight here, if you haven't been able to beat Hamas in half a year, can you defeat Hezbollah in 1 or 2 months? Ridiculous. But what I wanted to highlight here is the fact that they are indeed thinking of seriously having a further escalation, but they would potentially only go ahead with it if the Gaza front reduces, if they reach some sort of a deal, some sort of a ceasefire, even if it's very, very temporary, then they can have more resources in Lebanon, because Lebanon is taking a lot of the resources that they could be using in Gaza. He was also asked about Iran. How do you think they will react to the assassination? There is always a gap between threats and execution. I think they will try to respond. I don't think Iran will start a direct campaign against Israel, nor do I think that we will see Hezbollah expand the fighting in an excessive way, let's call it that. I estimate that there will be attempts against Israeli targets. He didn't specify how, when, but he is again one of those Israelis who think there will be an Iranian retaliation, but they're not sure of the scale. There's lots of talk in Israel about the potential Iranian retaliation, the fact that they've prepared their air force for attack missions. I've quoted Daniel Hagari, the IDF spokesperson, yesterday, and how their eyes are on all of Israel's enemies and not just the Hamas, and that they are preparing in case the situations and circumstances develop and they need to go ahead with an attack. And these were the main things that I wanted to talk to you about tonight, and I will see you soon in the next video. Take care.